Hello Commanders, welcome to Gamertopia. Today we're going to talk about the server 707 Rules of Engagement, ROE, or sometimes RO, for Star Trek Fleet Command. All servers have a similar set of rules of engagement with slight variations that are usually coordinated and agreed upon by Alliance leaders soon after the creation of the server. For server 707, our rules are very straightforward and easy to understand, but let's go over them to make sure everyone understands them completely. To start, here are some commonly used terms you'll see in-game and what they mean. Starting off with UPC. This means under protected cargo. Every ship in the game has a protected cargo capacity. This means as long as your ship has not exceeded your protected cargo capacity, if another player was to destroy your ship, you would not lose any of your cargo. The next being OPC. This is over protected cargo. In this scenario, your ship has exceeded your protected cargo limit. This means if another player were to destroy your ship, they would take whatever cargo is available that exceeds your protection limit. Your protected cargo stays yours, but the player who destroyed your ship takes whatever is over that. Next is PvP. This means player versus player. Any direct combat with another player falls under this category. Then we have PvE. This stands for player versus environment, which means any combat outside of another player. This is hostiles, mission bosses, and armadas. Next we have warships, which is any explorer, interceptor, or battleship. And miners. This is an interchangeable term with surveyors. KOS means kill on sight. This is generally saved for alliances you are at war with and means if you see them, you should destroy their ship. If you're unable to destroy their ship, you should call them out in your alliance chat with a link to their location so that they can be destroyed by someone else. Z nodes, this means a mining node that someone has completely depleted to zero. Token space is any system that requires a token to enter. There are mining token spaces and other token spaces like the Borg probe locations that you have to pay to enter. Territory space. This is space that is owned by an alliance. This space can be gained and lost by alliances during takeover events. Territory systems all have mining nodes in them, but only the owning alliance is able to mine there. Also, you cannot view these systems unless your alliance owns the territory you're looking at or you have a ship in that system. Armada. This is a specific type of hostile that multiple members of your alliance can join in and attack together after an allotted time has passed. Now that you're familiar with some of the terminology, let's get down to these specifics for server 707. First, we'll look at some of the specific ship types and how they fall into the rules of engagement. Starting with surveyors or miners, these are the ships that you use for gathering resources and raw materials. Our server allows for you to attack surveyor ships under two conditions only: when they are OPC, meaning over their protected cargo limit, or if they're being used for PvP purposes such as raiding a base, attacking other players, or being used during a territory takeover offensively or defensively. If you're unsure if a surveyor is safe to hit, the easiest way to know for sure is by scanning them. Once you scan them, you'll check the rewards box, and if it shows you receiving anything other than the PvP chest, they are OPC and okay to destroy. If this box shows no rewards other than the PvP box, they are UPC and you should not destroy them. Warships. Explorers, interceptors, and battleships are almost always fair game to attack and destroy. The exception to this is if they are in token space or are participating in an armada, and cargo does not matter with warships. Now for armadas, there are a few things to remember. We should not attack warships that are within the circle of a pending armada, nor should we attack them if they appear to be en route to that circle. Unless they appear to be actively participating in PvP themselves, we should leave them alone to complete their armada. Once an armada has been completed, we should allow them a minimum of 3 minutes to either start a new armada and renew their protection or leave the system. If they do not do either of these within the allotted 3 minutes, they are open for PvP attacks. Additionally, if an alliance participates in an armada and fails it, they are allotted 5 minutes to return to the location to reattempt the armada before it can be taken by another alliance. Failure to allow for the original alliance to return will be considered a row violation. There are a few specialty ships that have some exceptions, the most notable one being the Discovery. The Discovery is a warship that is used to mine its specific material, mycelium. While this ship is being used to mine, it is treated as a surveyor and should only be attacked or destroyed when it is OPC. Base raiding is always allowed within the rules of engagement. If another alliance is actively raiding a base that is outside your own alliance, you should not interfere with their raid. Now let's take a look at the different kind of locations in the game that have specific rules. Territory will basically negate all rules of engagement if it is not owned by your alliance. If you enter another alliance's territory with any ship, you can expect to be attacked under any circumstance. No ship is protected here. If you are invading another Alliance territory, you should follow standard row procedures unless there is an active takeover that you're attempting to participate in. For token space, all ships are protected. If you have to pay to enter a system, it is considered token space and you should not attack any other player in these spaces under any circumstance. Some PvP events will also call for specific changes to rules of engagement. These changes are always announced in Galaxy Chat and Discord to ensure all players are on the same page. The most notable event where this will take place is incursions. On server 707, we have not experienced an incursion yet, but when we do, rules of engagement are basically put on hold for 12 hours prior to the incursion so that we can prepare for the event. Preparations include clearing out any bases that have not taken proper steps to put up their defensive via moving to the correct safe locations and raiding bases that are left from players who are no longer active. And the last thing we'll cover for the rules of engagement is kill on sight, or KOS. This will be announced in Galaxy Chat and messaged directly to the targeted alliance's admiral, and means that all rules of engagement will be void against this alliance with the exception of token space and armadas. For the most part, we try to avoid this, but it does happen to alliances who are lacking active leadership or who have a general disregard to the agreed upon rules of engagement. If another player has broken the rules of engagement towards you, you can send screenshots of the offense to your designated alliance means of communication, usually Discord, where either your row officer or admiral will follow up with the offending alliance leadership to resolve the offense. This usually includes educating the player of the rules of engagement if they are not familiar with them, return of any possible loot they may have gained or loot that they have lost, an apology from the offending player and or removal of the player if this is a case of multiple offenses. This is completely up to the discretion of both alliances' leadership. Hopefully this clears up the rules of engagement for you for server 707. If you have any questions or you'd like me to go over anything more in depth, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more upcoming content, and find me on server 707 and say hi. I go by Wolfchild in game and would be glad to hear from you.